Hi there, listener. You're about to experience TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games, and there will be plenty of game talk, but also copious amounts of crude, off-color, offensive, and immature speech. So if you are of a rather sensitive humor constitution, we're just letting you know what you're in for with this show. It has games. It has jokes. You know, just games and jokes. Take the games, take the jokes, and have a good time.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show that it happens twice a week. It's where two old guys, one rather young lady, and one rather wizened sage, talk about old games. This week, it is our culmination of Dorkly's top 25 N64 games, where we sit down and just talk about the list, the N64, the experience, everything as a whole.
I like how you pitched it to me. I don't know if you pitched it to everyone like this, but you said, let's have an episode where it's 2v2 N64 versus non-N64.
Yeah,
is that how it was pitched to everybody?
No.
Nicole,
I got that description.
I was deceived.
It's like
well, it was
you
just
and me,
supposed to be
Nicole.
you on, and I was like, well, she's gonna feel like we're beating her up. Because I know how Dave and I are going to talk, so let's get Ian on board and make it 2-2. He can be her white knight, because we are not going to be.
So is that a I have a question for you guys, and I know, Tyler, you're about to do your intro, and I'm sorry to interrupt it.
No, please.
But this has been bugging me for a long time. Is it Battle Royale or is it Battle Royal?
It's Royale.
Yeah.
I always thought it was Battle Royale as well. But
Does
then
it have to have an E on the end? Then it's
Yeah.
Royale?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah. Then
Like
otherwise it's
Royale
Royal.
with
Royale with cheese.
Okay.
But I've heard it pronounced either way. So every time I say Battle Royale, I feel like some kind of charlatan.
Tomato.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think it really
We're from Kentucky, so you can say Battle Royal.
Royale.
No
Battle Royale.
one will bat an eye.
Battle Royal.
I say you should say Royale. If you say Battle Royal, I'll look at you funny.
So if I ever need you to look at me funny, I know how to do it.
It's Battle Royale. Thank you. Well, I'm your bearded host, Tyler. And I can't and have not in many months drank milk.
Is it because you dipped your balls in it?
Yes. No. It is. Well, that milk, well, I guess that's not true because I drink milk with the habaneros. But
'cause I did
that,
drink
that was
milk.
that was not pleasure milking. It was not.
There's a whole subreddit for that.
I had no pleasure milk.
Pleasure milking.
Because since I've been taking Lunesta, it doesn't make me super high and eat all the things like Ambien does. Because
That's a plus.
fuck, I cannot diet and take Ambien.
I have
because-
watched you eat some really,
Yeah.
really weird stuff on
Yeah.
Ambien. You're like a cone head.
Exactly. So I can't, like, no matter how much I work out or whatever, I can't offset that Ambien
Yeah.
eating because it's just fucking nuts. And it's not like, well, just don't keep anything in the house. No, I'll get in my car and drive to a gas station on the road and just get 40 zebra cakes. And not only is that, the 40 zebra cakes, you know, you're getting fat too. I'm risking my life and other people's lives around me by getting in the car. and
Zebras'
that's
lives. Everybody's in trouble.
Fat Tyler has killed so many zebras for their cakes. But so I switched to Lunesta. Don't get the weird eating. You don't get the high. You just go to sleep. So, but that also has the side effect of at first milk just started tasting like I was sipping it through aluminum foil.
Really?
So it was really bad at first. It was just like had this very tinny metallic taste to it.
Wellbutrin does that too for people trying to use it to quit smoking.
Yeah.
It makes it taste like metal.
I hate
Real
that.
bad.
I stopped that for a while. You know, I couldn't do it. I would do almond milk and like cereal and stuff like that, and that's okay. You know, almond milk still tastes like.
I guess.
I mean, it's not great, but it's like, do you want your? You need to tell me white. You just want to drink something white. Almond milk
Yeah.
is fine. It's not milk. It's just white, so your brain's okay with it.
Does it taste like milk?
Like really? I mean, it's not sweet at all. So it's just like not sweet milk at all. It's just
So it's like if someone made you cornflakes with almond milk and you took a bite, you'd be like, this milk has gone sour for
On
sure.
cereal.
this milk has gone bland.
On cereal, I can't really tell the difference.
The
But
cereal's so sweet anyway, I could do it on cereal.
Yeah.
I remember I was like, almond milk, I bet I can drink this. I poured a big glass and I got Oreos and just like, nope.
Oreos and almond milk?
Cannot work. Cereal is the only way you can take
Yeah,
it.
okay.
But eventually, like, I've been on Lunesta for so long. I used to switch back and forth. Now I just cut Ambien out because what it did. So just Lunesta forever. Now
Lunesta forever.
Lunesta forever, dog. Get that floaty butterfly in my house. But because milk, it no longer has that metallic taste to me. Now, no matter what, all milk tastes like very sharp and strong cheddar cheese.
oh wow!
I don't know if that's a bad thing.
No, it's
Unless
you
it's
know,
on
it's
cereal,
awful.
in which
It's
case,
awful.
probably-
It's cereal. Because
When
I
I-
tried eating Honey Bunches of Oats with it. It was like I was just eating just like string cheese and Honey Bunches of Oats.
Honey Bunches
It was
of Oats.
Awful.
Now
And
you
cheddar.
Now you have something
Oh,
to
man.
dunk your sandwiches in.
Yeah, because I mean, I tried it with Oreos, thinking like maybe it'll be better. No, it was like I was just spreading easy cheese on the Oreos and eating them. It was terrible. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Etc., which is our local coffee shop,
Yeah.
and I got a Spanish latte, got milk in it. Same fucking thing. It was still just like coffee and cheese. It was it makes me sad. The only thing
know-
I other stuff like cereal, I still eat cereal like you ate cereal like at your grandma's house when you were little, just like a box at a time.
Yeah.
So like I will binge way too much on cereal. So cutting that out, fine.
That
no
reminds
problem.
me, I'm out of Cookie Crisp.
But not having a fancy coffee drink with milk in it, that sucks.
You know, some of the royals in Europe, they always drink their coffee with cheese. So really, it's a delicacy. You just need to learn to appreciate it.
Royals or Royale?
Oh shit, Royales! I forgot to look.
case, I
I
think
forgot to look at
Royals is
Nicole.
That's all I got. Weird cheese taste.
What's up, internet? I am Dave, your bespectacled host, and I'm trying to think of things that taste weird to me. I had a little story prepared, but I kind of decided it's kind of a bummer. It's a little bit of a bummer, so I might wait to tell that story until it resolves better. When I was going to Murray State University, I would often drink in class. It was a hobby of mine. And there was this little convenience store on campus.
Razor Tracks.
Thank you, guys. I was trying to remember what it's called. Racer Tracks. And
It's called Fast Track.
Fast Track.
I worked there.
You worked at Fast Track? All right. Well, so
Racer Track was the phone number you had to call to schedule your classes.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
That was also awful.
Yeah, that was the worst because you had to wake up at like 5 in the morning to get the classes.
Are you off work? Great. Wake up at 5 and spend all morning starting to schedule for classes.
Which actually, my sister is going to Murray now, and Racer Track, that's not a thing anymore.
Actually, I think that was called Racer Touch.
Racer Touch,
God,
damn it.
man.
Well, okay, here's
to
the
be
thing.
fair, Nicole just got out of school. That's like how young you are compared to us.
And they just did away with that. Like whenever I started my
Yeah.
master's, they still had that. I was like a year into my master's where they finally fucking did away with that
Yeah,
shit.
they kept it for way too fucking
I can't
long.
believe that I forgot it was called Racer Touch. You just like brought back a weird memory of mine where I was
Horrible
dating a girl who also went to Murray State, and I remember when we were scheduling for class, we both had scheduled, and I said, "Girl, you want some more Racer Touch?" And that worked. That worked. But Racer Touch,
Racer Tracks is the career services, the searchable database for jobs at Murray State University.
thank you, Tyler.
I knew it had to be
Thank
something.
you. Of course it is. So I would go to Fast Tracks. I don't know, the convenience store on
It
campus.
was Fast Track.
I was probably pretty drunk by the time I got there. Anyway,
Most people were.
and I would always get an orange juice, and I would mix it with vodka, and then go to class, and I would drink it out of that little bottle. And I remember at some point I wanted more.
I like how Nicole's nodding like, yeah, I've been there.
Did you do that?
I've been there.
Did you do it?
I was a college student.
Yeah.
Come
Did you do
on.
it frequently like I did? Like, that's how I did 8 o'clock classes.
I, too, friend, have substance abuse issues.
I was gonna say, come on. I mean, like, I went to college. Like, I rolled out of bed, went to my 8 o'clock classes in my pajamas.
I don't believe it.
Like-
I can't believe it because like you were like probably the most put together person that I know on the planet. I can't believe that at any point in time in your life.
I only scheduled 8 o'clock classes my first semester because I'm pretty sure that's you only schedule 8 o'clock classes your first semester.
When you don't know better.
Exactly.
Unless you have to for other reasons,
Yes.
which
Like
which
it's
did happen.
the only time it's offered or something.
Right.
No, what you do is you just change your major. I went through 9 majors at Murray State University.
What you do is develop a healthy substance abuse problem.
Okay.
That's the other avenue that you can go. Change majors or become alcoholic. I chose the alcoholic route. And I remember at one point, those bottles at the convenience store were so small. They were tiny bottles. And I remember getting frustrated because it's like, well, shit, by the time I walk to class, I'm done with this screwdriver. So I'm going to get a metal thermos and I am going to like buy a bunch of those bottles and just mix it. And by the way, I did not realize at the time that orange juice tastes horrible when you pour it into a metal container. Because it was just like, I don't know if like the alcohol enhanced it, but it was like I was just the entire time I'm sitting there in class, it's like I'm putting a 9-volt to my tongue. And it was like, I remember the first sip even being like, Jesus, I'm already like to the point where things taste weird.
Whether I'm drunk or stroking out, I don't know which one.
I'm so drunk, I'm having a stroke. What's up?
I'll tell you the best way to tote around your alcoholic beverages.
Yeah?
That to keep them cold, to keep them concealed, and to carry a large amount.
Pocket soap tampon.
We had a large number of Sonic Route 44 cups in our dorm room, and that is what we used.
That's what you used?
They're styrofoam.
Yeah, styrofoam.
They
So,
keep them nice and cold, and they're nice big size. So,
well, next time I go and live in the dorms on campus.
You can have a stint in your 40s where you sleep with someone who lives in the dorms.
you can still use them now. I mean,
Yeah.
if anytime now you want to carry it
But
around
see,
in public, some alcohol.
I'm at the age now where it's like, I will just drink at home. It's fine. It's fine. And it's like, I don't care if Nikki sees me drinking a lot. Just like, yeah, you know what it's like. you live here too. Yeah.
Life, right? Let's get day drunk and lock Henry in his room.
God, that sounds amazing.
Tomorrow could be your day to get blasted. Today is mine.
We've got a schedule. The calendar's blocked off.
Yes. Give me my Sonic cup.
Oh, man. Yeah. I'm not drunk at work yet. Maybe. I'm working up to it.
The only time I've ever seen Meg sick from drinking is whenever somebody told her, like, no, you drink it with Gatorade. Mix whatever with Gatorade and you'll get, like, drunk a lot faster. So
You've only seen Meg sick from drinking once?
Mm-hmm. Yep. She's not a big drinker.
Man, that makes me... I feel like an alcoholic. I think that Meg...
No, you just don't know when to stop. You're not an alcoholic.
Don't worry. Tyler's probably seen me sick as often as he's seen you sick from drinking. Oh, so you are an alcoholic.
Yeah, I've only seen you, like, sick once, Dave.
That was really sick.
And that was super sick.
Here's my thing. I have a high constitution for alcohol, but like there's a tipping point. And when I get to that point, it is just, it's just like a rocket sled to hell because it is just like
way.
Game over.
And what was that? That point was like you took somewhere between 12 and 15 shots of Goldschlager in 20 minutes.
Yeah. It was your birthday.
Yep, your
21st.
21st birthday.
So to honor your birthday.
10 years ago, this year.
So to honor your birthday, I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drink 21 shots.
You know what I'm
Tyler.
going to do? Not go anywhere for the rest of the birthday.
And I remember Brandon of Axelay fame. I was like, come on, man. Let's do 21 shots. And he was like, no, I'm not doing that. And I was like, fuck you. I'm doing it. Yeah, I got really super sick.
Like, as much as you drink as fast as you did, like, you just might have had, like, metal poisoning rather than alcohol
was a
poisoning.
lot.
Much gold.
Is that the
a
same
lot.
night that Josh got sick?
Yes.
Yes.
I was gonna say either that or you guys just fucking love that Goldschlager.
Well, we did
Dave
love
did
it.
love it. Dave loved it. Josh like, this is pretty good too. And then
Yeah.
Josh then threw up in Taryn's toilet looking at Brooke Burke covered in gold flakes, and it brought it all back up.
Yeah.
Well, I was like, but Meg getting sick.
Oh, right.
So she just like fills this Gatorade container and just kills it very quickly.
What'd she fill it with, do you know?
I want to say vodka. So I
Okay.
want to say vodka, and it was definitely fruit punch Gatorade.
Ooh.
All right.
And she got super sick. And I think it might have been at this point, like I had moved to Louisville and taken my bed. So she had an air mattress in the apartment that we lived in with Josh. Because I remember, because it was the box from the air mattress. So she's like laying on the air mattress, and she suddenly gets sick, and like she sits up and is about to throw up. So I'm just, I don't know what to do. I reach over, grab the box the air mattress came in. No, not a watertight box.
Just a cardboard box.
Cardboard box.
Probably like
with a
stapled on
slit
the
in
bottom.
Yeah. So I grabbed that and put my hands on the bottom of it, and she fucking fills the box up. Like, I don't know. She must have eaten something heavily gelatin-based because it just comes out. She was like an frozen or a soft serve ice cream machine.
Yeah.
Because it just it looked like
Did a fish skeleton come out?
it was like she just dispensed a cherry cheesecake into the box. And I get up and I'm carrying the box out, and like I think I have one hand on the side and one hand on the bottom. I'm almost to the trash can when the box can take it no longer, and the cheesecake just falls onto my. It hits my knees, hits my feet, hits the
gives.
kitchen floor.
Is it still warm?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's not have the battle royale. Let's just do this. This is fun. I like this.
But the drunkest I've ever been was Pokemon Snap. You can
Oh
listen to
boy.
that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll link it in the show notes if you want to hear Tyler at his drunkest.
That was the drunkest you've ever been?
That's the drunkest I've ever seen Tyler. And
I didn't have a sip of alcohol until I was like 22 years old.
That reinforces me feeling like an alcoholic.
Was it the same night that you went and got the zebra cakes and puked all over the inside of your car? Oh, wow. I didn't realize that was Pokemon Snap night.
Nicole, it's not a problem until it's a problem. And it's not a problem.
I cannot even like, I don't think I could count the number of times that I've gotten sick.
Well, you just drink
Drinking.
till you're sick. So it's not.
Yeah.
No, that's not always
Well,
true.
you also get sick pretty quickly too. I mean, it's
No, I don't.
Well, it's because you drink Arbor Mist. Like, let's mix, like, I want a good, like, pint of sugar.
no.
So a little water stirred up in there.
No, that's a recent development. In college, I drank vodka. So, like, not only can I not count the number of times I've gotten sick, I can't count the number of times that I've just gotten the spins.
college doesn't count. Also,
Okay, well, you know.
that's called training wheels. You don't count those.
No one's an alcoholic until you are out of college, either by graduation or failing out. Then you're an alcoholic.
Well, if we're not counting college, then I feel a little better, I guess.
What's up, Ian?
A lot. How you doing?
You got any sick, drunk, or someone else? You can tattle on someone else like I did.
No. Well, there been. I mean,
Like John Turley.
you know, I have never actually been really drunk with John.
I have.
I've drank with him, but I've never really been drunk with him. I mean, I've been puke drunk plenty of times in my life.
I don't think that's weird. I have been drunk with John a bunch of times. I don't think I've ever seen John sick.
Ooh, I don't think he gets sick.
Yeah.
And I will take it back. We did go out. Before the night we went out before he left.
Yeah. For basic.
He was pretty drunk that night.
Yeah.
But I just never find myself in the John and I don't spend a lot of time together outside of work because he's doing his thing and I'm home doing my thing, and we don't get to go out. I don't get to get out much, but so I don't really go out with John. His schedule being what it is.
Yeah.
I don't get to see him much, so I haven't been drunk with him that often. I think the one time, really the only time I can remember him being really, truly drunk was on his going away party.
And see, I didn't think I was probably pretty drunk too.
You were pretty fucking drunk.
Because like you're saying this, and I'm just nodding. I'm like, I don't remember him being that drunk.
Well, see, I got a point.
I remember him being at that party.
I got a point at DD that night. And
oh right.
But see, here's the thing with me. I tend to. The last time I got falling down, thrown up, hungover, drunk was we had the place I worked before. I worked at the local casino for like 10 years. And every year they have this thing called the Chairman's Award dinner, and the Chairman's Award are like the coveted awards for the different departments and different individuals in the company that really truly exceeded and gone above and beyond, whatever, by whatever standard that may be. And so some people win it just themselves, and sometimes departments win it, and you get a nice bonus check, and you get a big award. It's a big deal, and they spend a lot of money to have the dinner and everything else. But our department, the IT department, was up for the Chairman's Award, and of course there was an open bar. And listen, I got to tell you, a bunch of casino employees and open bar do not mix well. Okay, I being one of those at the time. I mean, it was vodka, and gimme all night long. And we won the award that year. And so of course we were drinking.
You drank more, I'm sure. Yeah,
just got blasted. And then every year after that, if you win one, you get invited back for the subsequent dinners. Even if you don't get nominated, you're sort of in the group now, so you get to keep coming back. And every year at the Chairman's Award, you get really drunk. But the other time I've been pretty messed up, and I've been around the most people I've ever been around drunk at once was also the casino employees. Every year we had a golf scramble, and so you get a team together and you go have a golf scramble.
Oh yeah.
And I've got to tell you something. This was at Gambit. We got thrown out of Gambit. The company as a whole, we were banned from Gambit.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Gambit being
it's a golf course in Southern Illinois.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. We had to. So we show up, and of course this thing starts at like 7 a.m. because you've got 300 employees or however many. Well, it's not 300, but it's a lot of employees all show up. They pair off into teams of 4, I guess, quad off into teams. I don't know. That's a thing.
Sure.
I show up.
It's like Quad City DJs, but for golf.
I show up at 8 a.m, which is about when I'm supposed to be there, I think. There are people that are already on their second Bloody Mary. And this is at 8 a.m, because Bloody Mary, I guess, counts as breakfast.
Mimosas and Bloody Marys, yeah.
So these are the socially acceptable.
Plenty of mimosas, plenty of things were going. And so probably by lunch, dudes were driving golf carts across the fairway and doing donuts. And there were fights. People were getting into fights. I mean, it was bad. It was bad, and they banned us from that. In fact, I don't think that's the only golf course that we had been banned from as a company. That's just a mixture for this is sanctioned company event with plenty of all the alcohol you can drink. Bring your own, they say.
Yeah.
Well, they did, and it started at 8 and went till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon,
dude.
And people were driving home in this state. I'm just like, why are we not hiring a cab company to take us home? It's crazy. It's crazy.
I hate golf, but I love business golf tournaments. When I worked at the local paper, every year we would have a golf tournament, and it was like, yes, it's time, it's time. And they'd have sign up sheets, and I'd be like, all right, who are the drunk employees? I'm going to be on what team is clearly not going to win and is just going to drink. And it was like, we'd always group up together. And then it was like, it was weird because I don't normally drink during the day, especially around coworkers.
Yeah.
And then,
normally italicized.
Yeah, thank you. And so I have some of the best memories of just riding around slowly on a golf cart with 3 other people. One of those being John Turley, always, because we worked together. Yep. Just drinking our asses off and barely playing golf. And it's like when other people would drive by, be like, all right, let's pretend like we're playing golf. And like one of us like get clubs and like hit a ball.
Well, we actually played. I do enjoy golf, but I haven't played in so long. But we actually played. But the thing is, the same 4 guys would win every year.
Yeah,
and it's like y'all are beating a bunch of
We beat all the
really
drunks.
drunk people. Okay, we're not even trying. Okay, so good on you, buddy. You won again.
Was it always like the CEO and his son or something? Because that's how it
No.
always was for us.
No, but I did almost get into a fight with the general manager's son, the big guy's son who worked there too. He kept ramming us with his golf cart. And
Oh, we can't. That won't stand.
we had weapons. This is the golf club. We had weapons. We had alcohol. We had vehicles. This was a bad combination.
It sounds like that scene in Anchorman where all the news stations.
Como está, bitches?
Where they have their battle royal.
Oh, there's that look.
Oh man. You guys want to talk about the N64?
Yeah, I'm down for that. I guess.
Yes. Okay.
I guess so. On this video game podcast.
Are you going to read the Wikipedia entry for the
Nintendo 64.
I think I did when we started the list.
did
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did.
Oh.
I don't know. I can't remember.
It's okay. Nicole didn't listen. It's fine.
No, I don't.
It's okay. No,
Sorry.
it's like I don't care about being close with these guys anymore. They're as good a friends as I want them to be.
She cares.
It's
She's
fine.
here. She's recording with us.
Yeah.
That's better than listening. Unless you're listening right now, in which case, just keep listening. Please.
You guys put out a lot of podcasts every week.
That's our motto. A lot of podcasts every week. It's like written above Tyler's door.
See, I like to do like how I romanced most women. So just be overbearing all the time,
Yeah.
and whoever's left standing, marry them. So it's fine.
So if you're still listening, you very well could be one of Tyler's wives.
That other sister wife showing off the air after I found out he was having more affairs outside of his 4 marriages. So
Podcaster
please start
wives.
that over, podcaster wives.
Pod wives. Coming to AMC.
Well, see, a pod is what you call like a group of polyamorous people.
Really?
So podcasting, where
Okay.
we just we just get in a big room. Everyone that's in the show, we just fuck.
Yeah,
And
just
record that, and that's the
Sloppy
show.
mud
Wait a
sounds for an hour.
That's just an orgy, right?
Well, I mean, some of us are in love. I love Josh, so that's fine.
But I mean, you're just talking about having sex, though.
But we're all contained together in a loving podcasting relationship.
So love is certainly a part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I thought they called it a pod, a bunch of whales.
Whales, that's where I went to. Yeah. I am also a nerd. It's like we got 2 people who are like, yeah, sex. And it's just like 2 other guys are like, aren't those like whales and stuff?
Ouch, my
Said the
ears,
intelligent
my freaking
person to the
ears.
pervert. No, I'm pretty sure it's a bunch of people fucking.
I like to think that like the polyamorous group was like, you know what? We need to like really bring together 2 things that we love. Fucking and whales. I mean, we can't have sex with whales, so we need to figure out some kind of clever workaround.
Because there's a, I think it only lasted 2 seasons, but the show Polyamory on, I think it was on HBO, followed around like reality style the lives of pods and how they would interact and inevitably just all get mad at each other for fucking other people, and then acting like
Yeah.
they're cool with it. They're cool with fucking other people, but when their partner fucked other people, then they were like, I don't know, you broke a rule. What rule? I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're describing me if I opened up a relationship where it's like, oh yeah, we're totally mature enough. We're like, I can have sex with other people, but please don't do that. Please don't do that to me. I'd be so hurt.
I was gonna say, if you want a more accurate representation of how polyamory works than a reality show, there is a really good episode of How Stuff Works podcast on polyamory.
Oh, okay.
We don't promote other podcasts. That's like cardinal sin. No,
I'm just
kidding.
saying, it's a good episode.
I'll try to find that and link it in the show notes.
That's one of my favorite podcasts I listen to. How Stuff Works.
See, I like shows like that, and I listen to like Freakonomics and stuff like where it's like actually like I feel like my brain's being stimulated. But then I realized I just want babble in the background while I work. And like what I found myself doing when I was listening to these like high produced, like conceptual podcasts is I would sit at my desk with like my hand on my keyboard and I'd just be staring into the middle distance while I'm like, oh yeah, that's interesting.
See, no, this is I have two different types of podcasts I listen to. The ones like that, like How Stuff Works and Freakonomics, and the ones that I have to focus on, I'll listen to when I'm like doing the dishes, and stuff like that, so I don't have to worry about that. And then,
but you do chores. I don't. That's why our house is in complete disarray.
And then the Babel podcast I'll listen to while I'm at work. The ones that are like unpopular opinion, where the guy's just an asshole just talking. I'll listen to that at work.
Or TADPOG's the kind where you turn it on at home and then go to grocery shopping. It's fine.
I think TADPOG's more like morning zoo almost.
TADPOG's like, it's good for the dog to not feel alone. So we're going to play this and we're going to leave the house.
I feel like TADPOG's like morning zoo that looks down on morning drive time zoo.
Tyler in the day.
Yeah. Because like we don't do any of that stuff, but we definitely talk about dicks and buttholes.
You need make everybody show their tits.
You need a soundboard. You gotta
with lasers. We're the drive home show. That's better.
Outside of Serial, like I just want a funny podcast.
Yeah.
Period. I get frustrated because like when I just want more funny people just talking.
Yep.
I agree.
I try to find that.
I agree.
I have a couple that I listen to that are strictly like entertainment that I listen to that I do nothing but sit there and listen to it like you would like an old radio show too. That are like black tapes.
Oh yeah. Jacob's gonna be on an episode of that.
Oh, I'm so excited! And Welcome to Night Vale's one that we just sit and listen to.
What's Jacob gonna be on an episode of?
Black Tapes, the Black Tapes podcast.
I don't know what Black Tapes is. It's a sci-fi
I haven't listened to them. I subscribed, but I've not listened yet.
It's done in the style of like, it's like an in character, like they're, done like it's a real thing, and they're investigating like paranormal.
So it's like a radio drama. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, cool.
They're investigating like paranormal
cool
stuff.
Awesome.
It's really good.
I can't normally do that kind of. I can't listen to that kind of thing for the same reason I can't listen to the conceptual high concept podcast. And that is like, and I can't listen to audiobook fiction because I like get so distracted when I'm trying to do things that I just kind of like find myself like I'll come to, and it's like, how long have I been standing here? Like while this has been washing over me. But I feel like I gotta like do some background work to understand this episode that Jacob's gonna be on.
No, I think that if you're gonna listen, because if Jacob's gonna be on it, listen to Black Tapes, you have to start at the beginning.
How many episodes?
It's several.
Like hundreds? Or?
No, like a dozen.
I'm sorry, Jacob. I'm sure your episode's gonna be really good, but
it's definitely reliant upon each other.
It benefits to watch them in order. You don't want to pick it up in episode 12 or whatever.
Listen. Yeah. You definitely have to listen from the beginning.
I'm interested. That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah, then they're not like long. They're 30 minutes or so, but yeah, you have to listen from the beginning.
Not like 2 hour long.
No.
Like a TADPOG.
Yeah. They're not TADPOG length.
Well,
you don't like a minimum of 3 hours a week to listen to our podcast? You don't think that?
They're about 30 minutes long, and they come out every other week.
Okay, because with TADPOG, every episode is like Lord of the Rings, where you think it's about to end, and then it goes on for 20 more minutes.
How do you guys feel about that, by the way, while we got you here?
See, we hope to take up all of your podcasting listening time every week with two hour and a half shows.
Well, I listen to them on iTunes, and one time it went over 2 hours. And
Megan Jorge. Yep.
And it was.
That's I think the only one that we've
done. The only one we're going to get on over 2 hours.
I plug them into my car radio. It's got the USB port, so
I'm jealous you have that.
Well, it's my company car. I don't actually.
Still jealous you have that.
So it rolled over. It went to zeros. It like went to the 1 hour 59 minutes, and then went to zero. It started counting up again. 2 hours. I'm like,
we did it.
You broke.
Well, that's because Phil had to call in and ask us about fast food for the first time.
Yeah.
So that's where we spent like 45 minutes answering that question.
We've tried to do an hour exactly.
I
And
don't see how you
We did for a long
we
time.
did. And then like we kind of slid a little bit and it's like, well, let's do an hour and 15 minutes. And then every time we did it, I felt like there's always more I wanted to say.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to figure out. I mean, do you have to? I've never done anything like a podcast. Where do you have to submit like how long your show's supposed to be? Or
No.
you just upload it and it is
Our
what
first
it
one
is?
was 20 minutes just because we wanted it to be quickly reviewed and then get on iTunes.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why it reset the timer. That was just interesting to me.
I don't know.
You broke podcast.
Some of the eldritch podcasting that we
Right.
do here. Technomancy.
All right, so the N64.
Yes.
The Nintendo
It's
64.
It's a console.
It is
that
a
Nintendo
console, and I'll kick it off.
Okay.
I think for the most part, I find it to be subpar compared to the PlayStation. But playing through this list did give me another list of games that I very much... It started me on a new series of games that I enjoy. I'm going to play every entry into Paper Mario.
So
I think that I don't want you to get your hopes up with Paper Mario. Like, I mean, I'm glad you enjoyed Paper Mario.
I mean, none of the others are for the Nintendo 64, so it's fine.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, the Paper Mario game, like Super Paper Mario for the Wii, like, is not.
I've been well warned. It is very
Okay,
different.
it's like I'm like, don't expect the same thing.
Because
at all.
I've heard, like,
It's
where
not
you
the
love
same.
that and we're disappointed by the others, and I've heard people love the others and we're disappointed by that one.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I'm just
only Ramon is like, they're all good. They're all good. I'm going to eat them up. So,
I'm just saying, don't get your hopes up because it's not the same.
yeah,
So
I'm okay with that. I've already got it. I ordered it. I ordered the rest of the series after I played Paper Mario.
I still need to beat the first one. I still do. I'm still like just steps away from fighting Bowser in Paper Mario. It's kind of one of those weird things where I'm not positive that I'm going to do it. Based on what you said, Tyler, on our Paper Mario episode, I don't know
was
that
hard.
I can beat
It was
Bowser
hard.
because like my party is not optimized at all, and like the items and stuff you said you have, don't have them. And it's just like the badges and shit, don't have them.
That badge that would randomly nullify attacks is what made
Don't
me
have
able
it.
to beat it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have done it.
So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm close enough. I can watch the ending on YouTube.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the PlayStation, which I had a PlayStation as well. I didn't have an N64, but I feel
I guess, and the Saturn was the same generation.
the Saturn was. This is all 5th gen. So the Saturn, and then there's 2 other consoles that are considered 5th generation. Play a little game. Can you guys name the 2 other consoles that are 5th gen?
2 other 5th generation consoles. Is the Virtual Boy considered 5th gen?
No.
Okay.
It might. These are specifically home systems. So think about stuff that you're hooking up to your television.
Okay.
We've mentioned
Not migraine goggles. Okay.
Not yes.
Shit. What else was out that time?
We've talked about maybe
Dreamcast, one of them.
Dreamcast wasn't. I think that's considered a generation later.
Oh, okay.
We've talked about both of these consoles possibly doing a list just for funsies.
It's the Action Max in 19.
No, we're looking at Nicole, you have a guess?
nope.
The Atari Jaguar.
Oh man.
Now that I've said that, I'm sure you can guess the other one.
The 32X.
The 3DO,
3DO.
the 3DO interactive multiplayer. So like I feel
God,
like
the fucking Jaguar.
I feel like looking at like all of those, the N64 ain't so bad because
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
I mean, so like I hate to like switch sides to the pro N64 group, but
Well, I am also pro N64 versus the Jaguar.
right,
so
the 3DO,
the Jaguar and the 3DO.
which is one of those things where it's like I remember looking at those consoles, like I guess like even as a kid, I was like video game counterculture, where it's just like, look at this Jaguar, mom, look at this, look at the graphics on this Jurassic Park game.
Picture of a Jaguar in the ad, mom.
It's amazing.
Do you, by any chance, we're in Kroger, by the way? She's picking up cereal, and I'm reading this Game Pro that we're not gonna buy. It's just I'm renting this Game Pro. Nintendo essentially for free while we were there.
And if you did get one of those, you fucking poured over it until it fell apart before you got another one like a year later. You get one gaming magazine a year and just obsessed over
just one staple still like holding the cover on. I remember showing her the page and being like, look at this, Mom. It's only $600. And I remember her like just looking at me and be like, keep on turning those pages, because like I didn't even have like a Super Nintendo at that time.
Because I remember whenever I first saw the Jaguar, I was like, man, that looks amazing. Look at this fighting game. They look badass. And I remember Shake was the one who got me off the Jaguar kick entirely, because he was like, I looked into it because I thought it was amazing as well. I wanted to get one.
Yeah.
And then I found out that, because he was talking about, so you have like a 64-bit processor in these in all these consoles. The Jaguar, though, just has two 32-bit ones, and they're pretending it's as good as a 64 one. So it's going to die really quickly. And I was like, okay, fine. I'm over it then. And it did. I mean, he was right.
Yeah, I mean, it did. Those both died, I feel like, really fast. And then I never owned a Saturn, so I can't really speak to it. But like, as far as like success goes, I feel like it was very clearly Nintendo 64, second place, and PlayStation.
I had a Saturn.
Yeah,
I bought my dad and I bought a Virtual Boy, and we played that until we got sick. We took that back and got a Sega Saturn. We played the Saturn until we beat all the games that were for it, because their launch was destroyed Sega.
Yeah, it was busted.
Yeah.
It didn't do well.
I remember playing Panzer Dragoon in Toys R Us, and I remember playing that and being like, video games are never going to get any better than this. Like, we are riding on a dragon, people.
At least you did that with Panzer Dragoon on the Saturn. I did that with Knights on the Saturn. Like, this is going to get better than this skinny Harley Quinn fucking swimming in circles.
What is that, a snork? I don't know.
But after we beat those games, we took that back, and then we just waited till the PlayStation came out, and I got a PlayStation. And that was it. I was sold on the PlayStation. The Final Fantasy VII, got that for Christmas with the TV that had the VCR built in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think maybe you guys had enough exposure to it in your formative years to really be able to appreciate it the way that Nicole and I did. Mm-hmm. And because like I mentioned, I wasn't really in my formative years when I bought mine, but I had been I got an NES when I was like 8 or 9, and I don't know. I just think maybe and it was always really a preference thing. It's kind of like Xbox and PlayStation now. You like one, you like the other. You rarely like both. It was you either like PlayStation or you like Nintendo. Mm-hmm. And I was always a Nintendo fan.
I'm curious,
and it probably tainted my perspective. I probably liked a bunch of games that now I would go back and play and say, wow, these are shit. But there was plenty of shit games on the PlayStation too.
Oh, God.
God,
God, yes.
So, yeah.
I think more, because there are more more. The PlayStation library is much
huge,
bigger, so there's much more shit on there.
Yeah, and I just think it's a matter of exposure, and did it come along at the right time? What were you exposed to at the right time to make one the kryptonite and one not?
I definitely think it's like how you feel like your warm and fuzzies for the Super Nintendo is definitely my warm and fuzzies for the N64.
I have to agree, because I liked the N64 a lot better than the Super Nintendo.
Oh, guys, you're making me feel sick. Oh, I feel sick right now.
Well, see, the N64, the reason it really lost me was the lack of serious JRPGs. Otherwise, if they would have had that, if Nintendo could have held on to Square, I would have been absolutely 100% Nintendo.
Well, and
but when they lost that, they lost me.
To your point, I was a platformer.
Yeah,
platformers.
There you go.
So boom, there's a.
You were just had
system.
like Crash Bandicoot, Gex. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, pretty much. And I played all of the platformers on the N64, and that's because I felt that despite camera problems in just about every one of the games for that system that were platformers, that's all I played on it, really.
I feel like I agree, because the games you try to get me to play on the Super Nintendo are the JRPGs, and I'm just like, no, I don't like that.
See, those are, and I can see that. I can see like if you don't like that style, the JRPGs on the Super Nintendo were probably a lot to you like the Banjo-Kazooie style of 3D platforming for me, because it's like, I don't like this thing, so I'm not going to like all of the things that are slight variations on this. And I feel like JRPGs on the Super Nintendo are very much like that, with the exception of a few games. But like it's...
Earthbound.
Yeah, Earthbound totally being one. Chrono Trigger, I think, is even kind of close. Like, Chrono Trigger's a lot closer to, like, Final Fantasy and stuff than Earthbound is. But yeah, I mean, a wide enough variation where I wouldn't... Like, I feel like Chrono Trigger is to Mario 64 as the other JRPGs on the Super Nintendo are to Banjo-Kazooie.
Okay.
Like, I feel like there's enough of a difference there where it's still kind of similar. But I get it, Nicole. I understand that. And that's honestly something that I probably wouldn't have totally understood if we hadn't done this N64 list and I hadn't played what feels like a billion N64 rare platformers, which is in reality probably only like 5.
Right.
But that's a lot. It is like five on a list of 25.
Yeah.
And I don't know. They rare found like, hey, this works.
It's a formula,
let's just do it.
And that's not to say that that's necessarily a bad thing. If you like that formula, that's great, because it's like the JRPG formula. If you like that formula on this SNES, man, you're gonna have a good fucking time, because there's a bunch of those on the SNES.
Well, it goes back to the conversation we were having before we started the show, which was in the Star Trek. With Banjo-Kazooie, I loved it. I played it, loved it. I beat it 3 or 4 times. Fully, 100%ed it. When Banjo-Tooie came out, it's like, give me more. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want more. And I loved it too.
And when the third one came out,
Oh, God. we're not going to talk about that. God, that thing was awful.
Is that the
This is Nuts and Bolts? Is that the one on the Xbox? Oh,
is that the Phantom Menace of Banjo-Kazooie games?
Oh, man. That is the entire all 3 prequels. Everything bad about all 3 prequels rolled into a game.
Wow.
Terrible game.
So we definitely have to play that one.
because some
for the
exec
show.
at Microsoft what's the title we can do something for? Banjo-Kazooie. Kazooie. That's a racing game, right? Yeah, do that. Do the Banjo-Kazooie racing game.
I could see myself having sat in, go back in time and sit in with you on the Banjo episodes and offer counterpoint with the understanding that I get it. If platformers aren't your genre, that is definitely not for you, because it is the uber mega get it all. You got to collect 17 different things platformer. But I would absolutely happily sit down and join in you and shitting on Nuts and Bolts. So feel free to
I remember
bring me
like,
in on that.
seeing it like Nuts and Bolts and being so fucking excited.
too.
So fucking excited to see it, the third one, and getting it home and like playing
What
it.
the
Exactly. There's no other reaction to be like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Well, there's $60 I'm never gonna get back.
At least I get this Route 44.
See, I feel like you've been married to Josh long enough that you usually keep it at about a 7. So it was nice to see you go on a what the fuck at 9 rant.
Yeah, that was passion.
That it deserved. Like that.
I believe it. You sold me.
This was a what have you done to my beloved Banjo?
Exactly.
You bastards.
Because I've only seen
George Lucas might have made Nuts and Bolts.
Because I've only seen the JonTron video, and he feels about Banjo-Kazooie and Banjo-Tooie as strong as you guys do. So he does like just this crazy. He does the same thing. He pops it and turns it on, and just
freezes.
What? Because it's just like Banjo-Kazooie are they're fat, and then they have to just go like put together a car.
Let's
parts.
build some fucking vehicles. That sounds like a great idea.
Like the fat part, I get. Like I feel like
It's
the
been a
fat
while.
part is something that Rare even would have done. Where it's like, here's a little joke. It's been a long time. We're overweight now because we haven't done anything in a while. But yeah, like the built, like the Lego part,
and it looked like because I enjoyed Kingdom Hearts except for the gummy ship part of Kingdom Hearts.
Right, which I haven't played Kingdom Hearts. I'm excited to play that game.
I don't like the gummy ship part.
It's such a weird shoehorn thing that they did.
Is that from like Gummy Bears or something?
Yeah.
Really?
They take
from
like,
the show.
It's
Gummy
like
Bears?
it's inspired by like gummy bears, but it has nothing to do with like that universe. It's like I think God, it's been so fucking long, and I blocked most of that part out. But like because you have to you in your gummy ship that takes you from franchise to franchise, world to world.
Yeah.
What a weird vehicle where they're like, this is gonna be the thing that ties it all together.
Yep.
You remember gummy bears? No? Well, shit.
And it looks like you build a ship out of different colored Lincoln logs,
Basically,
and you
yeah,
upgrade your ship.
They're just like generic, like looking rectangles and squares. And then and your ship works as is, and you can change it, but it's one of those deals where like you can't just like like make your wings, change out your wings and make it go faster. Like if you change out your wings, it may not work right.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so it's like, here you go. We're going to give you options. This part sucks. We know it. So you can try to futz around with it to minimize your suffering because you want to play the game, but good luck.
I'm going to need to
it's
consult.
really like whenever I played it, I didn't even like fuck with it. Like I didn't change my ship at all because it wasn't like
It's awful.
You didn't consult with the gummy engineers?
And
Yeah,
it's
it was
so
like-
different from the rest of the action RPG with Disney and
Exactly.
Square
It's-
elements.
I want to clarify. We're not talking like gummy bears like candy bears. We are talking about like gummy bears here and there bouncing everywhere.
Let me make sure.
I mean, I
actually
didn't
kinda
make
like
that
that.
connection.
I love that. Yeah, I did too. I would totally run a gummy bears RPG.
But
That'll be.
But it also has like the travel. Like I just hate travel in games anyway. Like I always fucking hate travel. So not only do you have the option to change your ship, that I just didn't do because it doesn't fucking work. Like but then you have to like guide your ship. Through
So it's not like
space.
fast travel, like you're picking.
No,
like,
you have to travel. Like you have to guide your ship through space, and
Gotcha.
you can avoid obstacles.
Go
and
from
get-
Disney Universe to Disney Universe. Okay, like how do you do that? Do you go through like wormholes and shit, or
You have to guide your ship with and it's inverted like flight controls, which is fucking terrible. I hate this shit. And go through.
I get it. Yeah. When I pilot stuff,
Hate
I
it.
like inverted controls. When it's like a first-person shooter, I hate inverted
I
controls.
run inverted
so-
controls on everything.
Yeah, I know.
love
I
it.
know.
Love it.
So
I hate inverted controls. I'm with Nicole.
I just hate travel in games. Period.
Yeah.
Like I like to
You like
fast
to
Like
travel.
get-
like
the
license
action.
plate bingo. Not a fan.
I just don't want to. I don't want to in Zelda. I don't want to travel. I don't want to guide the friggin' king boat.
Yeah.
I don't want to ride Epona.
Okay. Gummy is spelled Gummi, as in the Gummy Bears, the Disney franchise,
Right.
and they own it. But
Uh-oh.
it's Chip and Dale that are helping you assemble. So you don't see the Gummy Bears. It's just named after the Gummy franchise.
What the fuck?
makes
That doesn't make
Perfect sense, Dave.
Like-
Do you not understand?
Like I feel like
Chip
maybe
and Dale, they bring it all together.
Because in my head, I was like, I remember like the portrait in the corner. Was it like the purple bear with the hat? No, it was Chip and Dale. So it's just like name the Gummy ship,
I feel
spelled like Gummy Bears.
Amazing Fruit just like pulled out as a sponsor at the last minute or something. What was going to be the Amazing Fruit
They're like,
blimp?
wait, what are we gonna do? Oh, Gummy.
Oh,
We
yeah.
own some shit named Gummy. And let's get Chip and Dale to tie it all together because those are real popular still.
Unless is the ship like composed of a balloon on top of a giant tube of toothpaste?
Does Jiminy Cricket show up at any point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is he-
He's
is
a
he
big part of it,
Is he a big
actually.
fighter? Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was
he's
fucking
not
kidding. I've never played these.
Yeah.
No, he's your guide.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
So much for that joke. Trying to be all smart ass. Yes, Ian. As a matter of fact,
When are you
He
guys gonna
does.
When are you guys gonna do a Kingdom Hearts episode?
I have to play it, and it is a long game, right?
It is pretty.
Yeah.
Long.
So it'll be a while.
I wouldn't mind getting the remixes for PlayStation 3, where they've updated the graphics and combined some of the games together. So I'd be down to do those eventually. But
I want to play them. Honestly, I do. Because it's like one of those things where, like, when they came out, I was like, baby game. Those are baby games. Look at that. Baby game. Is Goofy in it? Yep. Okay, that's a baby game then. And now,
is Donald in it too? Yeah. But so is Squall from Final Fantasy VIII. You have not sold me anymore on this franchise. Oh, the pharmacy I haven't played? Okay, I'm good. I'm good.
yeah, but now I think I'm to the point where it's like, yeah, okay. I feel like I missed out on a good game. So I want to go back and play those.
Yeah, because Meg loved them. Meg got both of them and played through them. I watched her play the second one just so I could see Setzer, because Setzer makes an appearance.
Yeah.
Gage was really into them as well. He really, really liked them. But I never did get a chance to play them. So
It's also one of those things where it's like the longer a game is now, the less likely I want to play it. Unless it's like a real subtle sell. Because it's like I'm playing Darkest Dungeon now, and that is a game that is super long, but it is composed of like 20-minute dungeons. So it's like one of those things where it's like, it's not really that long. It's just 1,020 minutes. That's all. As opposed to an RPG where it's just very much like, zip, there we go. Here's a big old game.
Yeah.
Big old game all up front.
I was hoping to find the full list, because for this, Dorkly basically opened a pool of 118 titles. And people choose their top 25, and whatever, they compiled the ones with the most votes, and then that's how they ranked them.
Yeah.
I was hoping to find the full 118 list with their votes, but I can't find it. Because there are a lot of games on here that people strongly object that they aren't on here. Primarily, I've heard the most people complain about No Mercy not being on this list.
Turok
and that it should be.
being on the list.
Turok not being on it. Turok, I'm surprised, because I played a lot of Turok and I thought it was good.
I always wanted to. That whole dinosaur angle really works for me.
I'm surprised. I'm trying to think what else if I remember that was good that isn't on here.
Well, I know Paul Kluel is a big fan of Mega Man 64.
Mega Man 64. I feel like not enough people played that. I bet it is higher quality than a lot of the games on this list, but just didn't get a lot of votes because not a lot of people played it.
And you would think a title like that would just almost by default be on it.
Yeah. That's why I think, like,
Excite
a critic
64?
list. Excitement. I've never played that.
I never did either, but I've heard people talk about it. Like
Yeah.
they remember it fondly. That, and I don't know if Wave Race is actually a good game or not,
It
but I
is,
hear people
actually.
talk about that game a lot too.
I was just thinking that.
I was
Yeah.
I played it a lot.
I was entertained by
liked
Wave Race.
And that's hard to say.
Yeah, I know.
I've been drinking a little bit.
Especially now that rave is a word.
Wave.
That game is it's a lot of fun, and it's very repetitive. It's not, you're riding a
jet ski.
jet ski and going through the rings, but you ramp off the waves and you go. It's a lot of fun. You get a really good feeling of actually kind of.
See,
It's one of those games where you find yourself kind of ducking around
Yeah.
and moving with it because you kind of get immersed in it.
get that
It's really,
sense of
really cool.
that sounds like a game that I would actually enjoy, but I do not think that Tyler would enjoy that. Like racing around in water, jumping through rings does
like
not sound like a
racing.
Tyler
I've
game.
played a lot of that.
Oh,
'cause
yeah?
It was one of the 2 games Josh had for a very long time. So we played a lot of competitive Wave Race.
So you're ready.
It's okay. It was okay. So for me to say it's okay, it must be pretty good
Yeah.
because I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
I always wanted to play Quest 64. I've heard very mixed things, more negative about
I've
it.
heard some pretty negative
but I'm
things about
curious about Quest 64 just because it was like N64's RPG.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess there's only one Mario Party on here.
Which I get. I'm like I feel like this would have been a weird list if there was
Yeah.
a bunch of
Yeah.
super similar games.
4
like
Mario Parties
Banjo-Kazooies.
back to back to
Yeah.
back to back.
Is that how many came out for N64? Do you know?
I think it was only 3.
Yeah. Okay.
I think 4 was on the GameCube, but I could be wrong. There are 10 total, 10 being the only one on the Wii U.
I thought that, like, after playing all these games and going back and looking at the list, I still think that Mortal Kombat Trilogy is a really, really, really weird way to start the list.
Yes.
Because it is, like, not a good game so much. And it's, like, doesn't really even depart from the SNES version much. I mean,
It's like, it's basically very similar.
yeah. So I still think that's weird. And like we're sitting here, Tyler, you're mentioning games that I've heard people gush about. And it's like Mortal Kombat Trilogy is a game that I really never heard about.
I didn't know
until-
it was a thing
Yeah.
until we did this list.
Yeah, I'm saying
How
it was
it's
not
number
good.
25 when all these other big games people are talking about are not.
Yeah.
But
Even the big games that were mediocre were better than Mortal Kombat Trilogy.
I believe it.
yeah.
I mean, there were, I don't know. There was that whole thing with the Mortal Kombat on the Super Nintendo that didn't have the blood and violence, but the one on the Genesis did. And, maybe that fueled that fire, I guess.
I don't know.
People just finally a new Mortal Kombat. I really always loved Mortal Kombat. It's been one of my all-time favorite franchises, but it was a bad game.
Yeah, I fell off, honestly, like around Mortal Kombat 3. As soon as they introduced a run button, and it became a lot more combo-based, it felt like they were trying to take from Street Fighter games and apply them to Mortal Kombat, and I just don't think it worked.
I bought the last two that were on the Xbox 360 or PlayStation 4. Well, I had one for the 360, but I got the most recent Mortal Kombat game that came out.
X,
I think is what it was, and it almost looked like a reskin version of that DC fighting game.
Okay,
it was because it was made by the same company. It just basically looked like the same game with Mortal Kombat characters. But at a point, there comes a point where I do like. So what I always liked about the original Mortal Kombat was you'd fight through all of these fighters, and when you win, you get a little cutscene, a little story at the end to say what happened or what whatever. The newer Mortal Kombat games like X, it follows a storyline. There's like a plot throughout the entire game, so you play as different characters throughout as it's telling the story, but you can also go online and play against people, which I never do because everybody in the world is better than me at Mortal fucking Kombat. And that didn't used to be the case, but these newer games are the newer types. When I would go to the arcade and play it against people, I did fine. I did well. But playing online against some of these freaks, no offense, but I mean, some of these people are not human. They're not from planet Earth.
They need a matchmaking, good matchmaking for fighting games, because that's like how I feel when I played like.
We need a Match.com for fighting games. You can find your perfect partner.
Or because when I played Marvel vs. Capcom 3, like I felt like I was good at that game, and it's like I would play other people, and it's like I mean, I'm not great at it, but I feel like I won more often than I would lose. And then I would go online, and it was just like
bam, 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 you're
lost. Yeah, exactly. And it's like I don't even know what happened. And then like inevitably, no matter what would happen, I would get a message from the person that I played, mocking me and calling me all kinds of racial slurs, and Xbox Live.
Fucking online.
That's why I never even you play on Xbox Live? No.
Never.
Do you have an Xbox? I do. Do you have gold? No.
Yeah.
Silver.
I used to
not changing.
I used to lie to people in like in-game chat. They would ask if I had a headset, and I was type back. Nope.
I started getting. You can hear the youngest children say some of the most vile things online in online gaming. And I mentioned before I play Counter-Strike, CS:GO, and the other day we were playing, and there was this kid on there who was like 13. And he was talking just tons of trash and wouldn't shut up the entire time. He was just making noise. I couldn't hear anything. I'm like, kid, you need to shut up. I got a kid that's your age. And he's far more well behaved than you. I'm like, oh shit. I was hearing these words come out of my mouth.
Excuse me, my son is much more well behaved than you are.
I heard these things come out of my mouth. I said, listen, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear you talk. I can't play when you're constantly talking, but I don't want to mute you because I feel like you could be useful, but I don't want to mute you. And he was like, or the other guys on the team or on the team were like, that is the nicest I've ever heard anybody shut someone down in my life. Listen here, you little whippersnapper. I'm going to grab you by your ear and I'm going to shank you.
I need to take notes from you, because it's like whenever someone says anything slightly negative, like in Heroes of the Storm, mute. I'm not dealing with you.
Well, they've
just not
recently
going to do it.
implemented a thing. Well, I don't know if it's recently been implemented, but I've recently discovered in Counter-Strike you can put a thing in your auto-exec file when you run the game that mutes the enemy team completely. You can't hear them ever.
Oh, I like it. I don't know why it's not designed like that from the beginning.
Well, not during the game. You can anyway, but like at halftime or before the match starts, or even the typing. Because you can send messages.
Oh
to the
no!
other.
Why?
No.
Why would that? Why would anyone want that?
I don't know. You don't. So I turn it off, and it's much better. But then you get on the team with people that suck that you can hear. And it's like, well, if you're going to play with strategy, you better hope that they're going to be helpful. Because, and don't get me wrong, I don't like do the whole shaking the young man, but you watch your mouth. I don't give a fuck. I really don't care. I cussed like that when I was 12.
Yeah,
I don't
oh,
give a
God.
shit. Go knock yourself out. Just have. If you're gonna be foul mouthed, that's your parents' problem. But
I need to
I
learn.
cuss like that now.
yeah,
Yeah.
now
Just because I relish it.
yeah, it's so nice.
I need to learn from you, Ian, because when I encounter children online playing video games, I don't know how to act. Like I don't know. Like I don't want to tell this person. Like I don't even want to like interact with them. And
Just don't. That's the best way is to just not interact with them. Don't bait them. Don't let them have it. There's nothing you can do. The best thing to do is just maybe forget. Try not to think that this is a kid.
Yeah. Well, see,
If
but then
there
I'm
were a
gonna get
fucking
then I'm gonna get in
12-year-old kid
trouble.
standing in front of you,
Right.
cussing like that, you'd be appalled. Be like, what the fuck? You know,
I would probably laugh.
where are your fucking parents? You know, I mean,
No, I'll put it on YouTube. Say that again. Say it again. It's fine.
that's true. There's a lot better means of revenge, I guess, or not revenge, but shutting them up, I guess. But I don't know. You just get used to it. You've been on long enough. You just tune it out.
I just
Don't pay attention to it.
Ugh. Voice chat. I only want to do it with people I know. Like it's just I only want to do it with people.
Well,
I
I don't like to do it at all unless it's necessary to the gameplay.
And then I
Which
won't play it.
Counter-Strike, you have to have it.
I'm far more inclined to have sex with people I don't know rather than play video games with people I don't know. I feel like I've had better experiences with anonymous sex than I have playing in competition online.
See that?
I could too. I'm not speaking from experience because I like also feel the way I feel about online voice chat during gaming is pretty much the same how I feel about anonymous sex.
I've never had
do it.
anonymous sex, but I also don't like play a lot online either. So I'm just projecting about like what cool me that goes to glory holes also can't stand playing Counter-Strike.
Cool me that goes to glory. Because glory holes are fucking dude. Just, I guess it really depends on what side of the glory
got
hole
my
you're on.
sunglasses on and my dick in a hole.
It really does depend on what side of the glory hole you're on.
You know, cool me that just sucks dicks at the gas station. Man, I'm so much better at this than online gaming.
Here they tell me good job.
Nicole, you laughed at the idea about me giving anonymous head. Don't just stand there stoically.
You're getting the stink eye, man.
Whatever you're into.
Not him, cool him.
Cool me does it.
I totally-
Get my bomber, my Fonzie jacket, and I go down the glory hole.
Totally
You just-
support your sexual decisions.
You just hit the wall with your fist, a la Fonzie, and dicks just shoot out of the wall. Like some kind of fucked up episode of American Gladiators. Where you've got to suck 12 dicks while a guy shoots tennis balls at you from a
Oh
cannon.
man, let's make that spin-off called Glory Daze. It's gonna be great. So Barman 64 was next on that list. Barman 64, it had to be done. The 3D world, this new system, they had to make a Barman for it. I get it. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all.
It was okay. I thought it was okay.
Yeah.
Man, whew, that Glory Daze really hit me. That hit me hard.
D-A-Z.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, but the thing about Bomberman is I think it works so well overhead multiplayer. And like I think they proved that when they made the Xbox Live version of Bomberman. It wasn't 3D, it wasn't platforming, it was just straight up. There's no single player mode. It is just online versus. That's all it is. You can chat with 13-year-olds who swear at you if you want, or you can just turn your headset off. So I feel like that's the core of Bomberman. I think if you fuck with that too much, it's not Bomberman anymore.
Yeah.
It's just Banjo-Kazooie with bombs.
Yeah, and like not the platforming was not anywhere near as good as Banjo-Kazooie.
No, it's horrible because you can't jump.
Yeah. So you're having to figure out how to like bounce off of bombs in ways. You're like, should I be able to do that? That seems weird.
Yeah.
It is. It's very clunky, but Really, okay, looking over the whole list, it's like Superman. Nintendo 64's strong point was, I feel, multiplayer. So it had the people who love platformers. So it'll release quality platformers. It released quality couch co-op games and the quality Nintendo flagship franchises.
Yeah.
Other than that, I feel like pretty much everything sucked. You've got some core titles, and it's working with the 4 controller ports. Brilliant idea. Nothing else. Fantastic. But I feel like otherwise, a lot of Nintendo's unwillingness to work with third-party developers, and then it having the software being not as great as or hardware not being as good as other systems. Like, I feel like everything else suffered except for those 3 areas.
I'm glad that the console existed, mainly because you talking about like having the 4 controller ports, which is like that became the standard. And then of course now, I mean, I don't own any of the current gen, but I assume that you're still limited to 4 controllers, and it's not crazy like 16 controllers or something like that.
You get a Wii U now.
I don't really consider that current gen, but I do own a Wii U. You're right. So that is cool, and that is like, I mean, the Super Nintendo games where you had the multi-tap and 4 people could play, like Bomberman, that was amazing. That was such a cool experience. I'm glad that Nintendo recognized that, and they're like, let's just build this in. Let's make this a thing, and this will set us apart from the PlayStation. And I think you're 100% right, Tyler. Like, I can't think of a game on the PlayStation that I could sit around with a group of people and enjoy as much as like Mario Party or Smash Brothers on the N64.
GoldenEye. I mean, you didn't play
if you're
it
into that,
but yeah.
yeah.
It had its iconic experiences that you couldn't find other places for a generation.
So that's your silver lining?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the controller is still one of the worst things ever produced, but
I came around a little bit to the controller.
I always liked the
I was going to say,
controller.
I will defend the controller.
Yeah.
I hated it at first, and then I don't know if I've said this on the show or not. I probably didn't because I was too embarrassed to do it. What happened was I was playing a game. I was playing Paper Mario on the N64, and I was playing it on the N64 controller. And then at some point, earlier in the game, I decided, you know what? I want to play this in bed. So I'm going to buy it on, I think, the Virtual Console. And I did. And I was playing it on the Wii Pro controller. And it didn't feel as good. And I felt so weird about that because it was just like, why are my hands so far apart? This is bizarre.
I'm used to playing like I play a Game Boy, just like right there, like a good inch between my thumbs.
I know, and it felt so bizarre to have that feeling like this doesn't feel right. So I don't know. I really hated on the controller when we first started this list. I still don't think it's a great controller, especially because that analog stick. Maybe if I had a brand new Nintendo 64 controller and I could really feel if that analog stick felt any better, because the controllers I have are old. I bought used, and they don't feel great. They feel mushy.
I used to fix those for friends, for people and my son's friends. Stuff. There used to be a way where if you were having trouble with your N64 controllers, Nintendo would give you a one-time only. They'll send you the analog stick module to replace it out, or you could. And I would call Nintendo all the time, getting these things sent in and just rebuild controllers so they'd be fresh.
Yeah.
And especially, I don't know I can't remember that it ever really. I think it happened a lot with the N64, but it also happened with the GameCube. The rubber thumb grip would come off, or it would get worn out, and the little plastic bits underneath would just basically rip your flesh apart. So
yeah, they had to. I think that's why they had to offer a replacement, is because, like, especially with like Mario Party, like these things were ripping off, and then they were causing like hand injuries.
Yeah, and they wouldn't send you a new controller. They'd send you the module and you swap it out. But yeah, fresh, brand new controller was always nice. I mean, because you could wear that thing out. It would be fucking useless.
I have several controllers at home that are testament that you can wear those out. I actually borrowed one of Tyler's because I played with your yellow N64 controller, and I was like, holy shit, this stick feels so much better than all of the ones I have at my house. Which reminds me I need to bring it back.
Because there's actually a pretty big... I've seen on our game collecting, people love third-party N64 controllers because there are some that are incredibly expensive. Like people just say and they're not built too drastically different from the original controller, but people just I guess Nintendo didn't put a lot of quality into the parts of the controller, clearly. So third-party ones, especially in Japan, are a huge collectible market because they say it just feels so much better. Just playing on these.
And that's so weird because it's usually, third party accessories.
Mad Cats?
Totally
Yeah, fuck
opposite.
that.
God,
Yeah.
Mad Cats.
That's what you kept around for your friends when they come visit and stuff.
Yeah.
No, I got a Mad Cat memory card. It's okay. I saved my data on this. Oh, nope, it's gone. Never mind. Corrupted.
Thanks. I guess I'm starting Final Fantasy VII over from the beginning.
Yep.
Love you, Mad Cats.
If they had just switched the D-pad and the joystick, for me, I would have enjoyed the N64 controller a lot better. Because make the one you don't use very often in the middle for your hands to be crunched up. The one you're going to use constantly, go ahead and do standard controller style. But
I get it. Yeah, I could see
I feel like
that.
they fixed it with the GameCube. I love the GameCube controller.
Yeah. And that's still the preferred controller for Smash Brothers.
Smash Brothers, yep. Because they re-released GameCube controllers for Smash Brothers for the Wii U. Because so many people are like, this feels a lot better. Especially than the fucking Wiimote and Nunchuck.
Yeah.
I tried playing Brawl with that. Just nope.
I got used to it on the 3DS, so I can hang, but it's still not nearly as nice an experience as the GameCube controller.
Resident Evil 2, I feel like that was a good experience. I was surprised it was on the system, but yeah, I feel like that was good.
Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't Resident Evil 3. So it's got that going for it.
Star Wars Shadows of the Empire.
Awful.
I didn't like that at all.
Awful game.
Ian, did you play that one?
I did not. I never did get a chance to play that one.
Don't. It's fine.
I heard the episode. Yeah.
I love the book.
Yeah, the book was awesome.
The book was great. It did not need to be made into a video game, though, I don't think.
No.
Are you sure it didn't need a very hastily thrown together video game? Nicole, I think she stepped out with the bathroom, but Pokemon Snap, that was what she was super excited about, and I really enjoyed Pokemon Snap.
I did too. I actually played that for many hours.
And that's
getting the better shots. It was always I wanted to get the better, real rare photographs. Really enjoyed that game.
And it's I haven't had an experience like that really in many other games.
I haven't ever seen anything like it.
for an on rails shooter. It puts such a interesting twist on that whole genre. You're not riding on the back of a dragon, but it's still pretty
Right.
cool.
Because Jacob had a good point, about how this game would translate perfectly to the Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the new Fatal Frame game. Are you getting that, Tyler? For the Wii U, where you use the tablet as the camera,
Yeah,
That kind of seems like when I heard about that, I thought about Pokemon Snap because that's a thing where I feel like they could do Pokemon Snap with that tablet because spin that motherfucker around the room and see what Pokemon are just chilling out.
Oh yeah. Gosh, yeah, that's a great idea.
No, Fatal Frame. That would be a good one for us to do eventually. Do some of the other Fatal Frame
I've
games.
never played a Fatal Frame
I haven't
game,
either.
which I love horror and I love survival horror games. So I don't know how I missed every Fatal Frame.
So, Kirby 64.
At least it was 2.5D.
Yeah, that was good. It was just so. Kirby being so slow just ruined it. Mario Tennis.
I loved it. I loved it. I'm glad that game happened, and I might keep the Nintendo 64 because of that game.
Until the Wii U version comes out.
Well, they're all the versions are different.
So that's the only one I've played. I haven't played the GameCube version or anything like that.
It's kind of, and I say they're all different, but they're all different. Like Mario Kart's different. It's it's pretty much the same concept, but there's some twists on things.
Yoshi's Story, which remember you didn't like at all.
No, that was awful.
I liked Yoshi's Story, but it was incredibly short. Rogue Squadron.
Rogue Squadron was good. I liked Rogue Squadron. I know that you didn't. What sucks is it's a lot better on the on the PC, and I think that's straight up from an objective standpoint, because it's like, you can actually see what's going on in the PC version.
Yeah.
The resolution is so bad on the N64 version that it's difficult to play sometimes.
And Diddy Kong Racing.
That was one of my favorites.
Yeah,
I loved Diddy Kong Racing.
I
was huge into Mario Kart, which
Yeah.
I know is down the list, but man, Diddy Kong Racing for me was just extremely gratifying.
So
I loved that game.
would you put Diddy Kong Racing above Mario Kart 64?
From a single player standpoint, absolutely.
Yeah.
From a multiplayer standpoint, no. I liked Mario Kart 64 better from a multiplayer because you just want to, you could really go after your opponents. You know, you could in Diddy Kong, but for me, Diddy Kong was much more a single player game.
See, I think so too, and I'm curious. I think this is where we had the conversation about like brand loyalty, and it's like I agree with everything that you're saying, Ian, but I don't know if it's because I actually feel that way or if it's because I am beholden to Mario Kart. Because I'm definitely beholden to Mario Kart. It's like that was.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't. I just think if I sat down, if I was going to pick one to sit down and play by myself, it would be Diddy Kong. But I think overall Mario Kart's just always going to be the winner as far as better game or more, because it's got a longer history.
Yeah.
You know, I got Mario Kart 8 for the Wii U.
Yeah.
Man, I love that game. It's beautiful. But, you know, it's a personal preference thing for me as far as, because my wife would play the racing games with me a lot, but most of the time it was just, I would sit down and try to beat them. You know, and I just felt more like it was, I don't want to say story,
But there's more than just racing in Diddy Kong Racing, which sounds like a weird sentence.
It is.
That's not the motto they should have used.
I think it's what made that
a lot
game.
more shit than racing.
They should just call it Diddy Kong Cars and Planes.
Nicole, I want you to play that game because I know you haven't, because you've got lady boners for Mario Kart.
Yes.
So I want you to play Diddy Kong Racing for
I think
your
you
comparison.
really like Diddy Kong Racing. It's a lot of fun.
You're trying to dissuade me from Mario Kart.
No.
I think because you love it, I want to see how you think it compares.
I was telling
That's the
you,
divisive racing issue on the N64, those two
they're
games.
two totally separate games, and I don't think one's better than the other. I think they both stand very well on their own. I don't think it's a matter of having to choose, really. I don't think you should have to.
Banjo-Kazooie was after that?
Oh, I pass.
Did you like that one?
I mean, you've got the strategy guide now.
Yeah, that's true. I could try it again.
Conker's Bad Fur Day.
There's a flower with big boobs. That's all I'll probably ever remember about Bad Fur Day.
Some money.
Did you play that, Ian?
No, but I just recently listened to the episode. I think I'm thinking about getting it, playing through it just to see.
You can borrow my copy if you want it.
All right.
Mario Party. Well, it looks like Mario Party 3 on the box, but no, it's not. It's Mario Party. I loved Mario. I guess this was the first thing on the list that I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, I liked Mario Party. Here's what's weird about it for me is, you know how you just mentioned Mario Tennis Wii U? And I was like, yeah, but it's not the same as the Mario Tennis for N64. I feel the complete opposite with Mario Party, because it's like Mario Party for the N64, I feel like, why the fuck would I ever play that when I could play the most recent Mario Party? I don't know.
I think that's totally fair.
I don't know.
Because they have made more and more improvements to that one. Perfect Dark,
Pass.
Didn't like it.
Pokemon Stadium. I mean,
I thought that was interesting.
it was interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of, you're not going to like it if you're not really invested into Pokemon.
Or if I hadn't played that game with Nikki, I don't think I would have enjoyed it. But because like she and I, knowing pretty much almost nothing about Pokemon, played through that game and fought each other, that was fun. And like that we could like kind of, I don't think I mentioned this on the show, but we played that game Mystery Science Theater 3000 style, where it was just like we were kind of making fun of some of like the things that the Pokemon were doing.
What's that big vagina one? Cloyster? Yeah, I'm going to be big vagina monster.
Yeah, exactly. That makes it fun.
Then Banjo-Kazooie after that.
Greatest game ever.
Now the real battle royal starts.
Then Paper Mario, which I loved.
I know how you feel about that one.
Yep.
It was a good game.
Top 4 for me on the N64. Donkey Kong 64.
So that was a solid title. I liked it.
Out of all the rare platformers, I liked that one the most.
Yeah.
And once again, I don't know if that comes down to brand loyalty, but it's like I know some of these characters, and I like seeing how they translated some of the things from 2D to 3D.
Yeah, I just think, well, just taking that franchise and changing it up that much, like, it had to have not been as big a success as they wanted it to be. To go back, there have been no more 3D Donkey Kongs. They went back to country. It's all So
Candy Kong still haunts my dreams, though. Because I don't know what Avril Lavigne kind of thing happened to her, but
she also married Chad Kroger of Nickelback, and then just faded away.
Chad Kroger of the Kroger grocery stores.
Yeah. Chad Kroger, the infamous Kroger family.
Hello, I am Chad Kroger. Thank you for shopping at one of my lovely stores.
This is my brother Remington Kroger.
If you live in the West Coast, you don't know me or my family.
Star Fox 64.
Good game.
Yeah,
I love that game. Yeah, I think that was another one that we both like. Yeah, all right. How about
Yeah.
All right. Mario Kart 64.
I'm a fan. You know this.
Huge fun, especially in groups.
Here's where things get weird for me again.
Majora's Mask.
Yep.
Still haven't. Since we did that, I was like, I want to finish this game. My 3DS has sat over there on my bookshelf, untouched. Because like I'll be like, oh man, it's 8:30. Megan Kenner in bed. I don't have to get up early tomorrow. I'll get my 3DS and then take my Lunesta.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever finish Majora's Mask.
I will, but man, I don't know what kind of day I'm going to have for me to pick up that 3DS again.
I'll finish it when Tim Burton makes it into a movie.
Johnny Depp be a pretty good Skull Kid.
Yeah,
Be a pretty good Skull Kid. GoldenEye, after that, I enjoy it, for what it was worth.
Shrug.
It's not something you can go back to as easily, but
I liked it more than I thought I would, but still, man, shrug.
I never cared for first-person shooters on that console.
We were fucking spoiled.
We were.
And it's
we had PCs. We were cutting teeth on PCs.
yeah.
I didn't start getting back into first-person shooters again until next-gen consoles.
Which they're fine now, I feel like.
yeah.
I feel like it's almost natural.
okay now, but they're just not getting caught up
Second
to
nature, maybe.
what we were used to back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super Mario 64.
Loved it.
Love that.
We all might have been on
Loved
that
it.
one. I don't know.
Loved it.
We all were.
Smash Brothers. Yeah, Smash Brothers.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Ocarina of Time. There you go.
Why is it number one? Like, that's my big problem with it. It's cool. Maybe if I like Zelda games.
Any of those final three could have been number one. I don't feel like they would have gotten a lot of hate for it.
Yeah. No, they definitely went with like I can tell that was my vote. Because like Zelda is always like Zelda's number one.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like when we did IGN's list, number one game, Zelda game.
Yeah.
I get it. It's just, I wish it was my thing. It's just not my thing.
Yeah. Because really, I guess I bet if I look at another list, Mario 64 will be number one. I bet I can look at a lot of other lists. and
Yeah,
Mario 64
it would be number one on
could
my
see that.
personal
I was
list.
gonna say,
could
that's what I would
absolutely
put
see that.
at number one.
Let's just see. Let's just Google best N64 game
Okay.
list.
Chad Kroger. Just throw that in.
Chad and Remington Kroger.
Okay, there we go. Well, the scrolling title, as soon as I type that in for games mentioned frequently, number one is Mario 64.
I kind of hope that.
Number two is Banjo-Kazooie.
Interesting.
Number three is Majora's Mask.
What?
I kind of hope
I
that
think
the
Majora's Mask is for the cult following.
Four is GoldenEye. Yeah.
the first thing that popped up should have been like Suicide Hotline. You're searching for this clearly. Here, call these people. You're not seriously gonna play an N64 game, are you? Wait. Wait.
I'm gonna try to check it to the list, but yeah, it's a video. Fuck it. All right, I'm not gonna do that anymore. Let's just
play a video.
Just
on
play
the
a video on the
show.
show.
Let's all take a break and then play someone's video.
I think you guys should come up with a list.
Yeah.
Something. I didn't, not necessarily for N64.
Yeah.
8
We're
list.
working on the
You do enough of them. You should fucking come up with your own list.
we're working on the Advergame list.
Yeah, that's true.
TADPOG's
Top 10,
Yeah.
top 2 Advergames.
Oh man. Well, top 20 games we can play. No one's really gonna give a shit about whether we like them or not.
I feel like that is like the spirit of TADPOG. Like that is a list that we would need to do. One that no one really gives a shit about.
I'm with you. But I mean, I'm glad we did this list.
I'm glad that you guys did this list because I think that it's a good thing that you guys filled this like gap in your gaming knowledge.
Yeah, it's weird that both of us are heavy gamers and we both just missed this entirely.
I think that makes 2 of us. I feel like I could have watched an hour-long video on Nintendo 64 games and been like, all right, gap in knowledge filled. I don't know. I mean, there were some things like, but then I think about Mario 64, but it's weird because I kind of view Mario 64 as like a separate thing where it's like, this is an anomaly. Like this wonderful game is like an anomaly on this system. I don't know.
I mean, it sort of is because I mean, they had all the production, like Nintendo put all their money into it. They had way more time in it. Like it's a different beast entirely compared to everything else that Rare had to like figure out a formula and push it together in a timely manner and with more budget concerns as opposed to Nintendo trying to sell the system. Mm-hmm. So I get why it's that much better than every other platformer on there.
Or if we just played like the top 8 or something like that, I might feel differently about it.
25 is a
You know?
lot. 25 is a lot.
100's a lot.
See, that's why 25 seemed like such a small number to me because we had done IGN's top 100 Super Nintendo games. So it's like I remember when we were talking about it, and it was like, do you want to do 25 N64 games?
Oh, we'll knock that out.
Yeah, that'll be real easy. Man, it'd be breezy. It'd be fun time.
No problem. There's no way the N64 games are all 3 times as long as every single Super Nintendo game. No, it's fine. And that we have to share the cartridges back and forth?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's going to be totally...
I mean, I'm sure these things emulate fantastically, right?
Yeah, Paul will have no problem with that every time he tries to help us out on what's Paul playing today and playing the N64 game. He didn't have to swat invisible tennis balls in Mario Tennis. Oh, man.
I didn't know that. Poor,
Yeah.
poor Paul.
Oh, man. Watching those videos and watching him just like have aneurysms over his how it does not work.
Yeah. There are so many glitches in N64 emulation. It is hilarious.
You're a saint, Paul, for doing that.
St. Paul. That's a weird saint name, huh?
Like, and Minneapolis. Whatever.
Never heard of that one.
Where is St. Paul? Is that where Mary Tyler Moore? Is that where she was?
I think so. Yep.
Okay. We do some good Mary Tyler Moore goofs now.
Yeah.
I recently downloaded the entire series.
We're going to make it after all.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. I guess we're not going to be ready to announce what we're doing next, but I think
It's a
we've
surprise.
pretty much decided, and we'll start that in January. So after this list, we're going to do some games that were sent to us, some games for the N64 that didn't make this list that we think we should do, people have asked us to do.
Yeah.
Some more eventually games,
Probably some quizzes.
Yeah,
some personality quizzes.
I do want to do. I brought it up to you because I want to do me as the game show host and get 3 contestants and do a like video game Jeopardy style show where I'll make like Ross and Friends when he made the board for them to play for the quiz for the apartment. I want to build that for TADPOG.
I love that idea. Let's do it.
So yeah. I love that idea. Go ahead and do it.
You volunteered.
It's true.
Wait, you're not allowed to turn it around like that. I'm like, I've got this wonderful idea. I'm gonna make this board, and we're gonna do a Jeopardy game. I love it. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. Why don't you do something every now and then? You're not allowed to do that.
I didn't mean it like that. But let's see. Yeah, the eventually list. I made a big schedule for the entire year. And I think Nicole can testify frustratingly that we didn't stick to that.
No, that you...
We did it longer than anyone thought we would. That counts.
I will give you that much. That you made a schedule for the entire year, which was nice. I did appreciate it. For people like me, that's very helpful. I went through and I wrote down in my planner all the dates that you wanted me to be on. And then you did keep up with it till about the past, 3 months or so. Mm-hmm. And then you kind of, got off schedule.
Yep.
And then I had to go through and erase all the dates in my planner. And I kept having to alter the dates in my planner.
Because I ended up being 1 week off accidentally. And then we had to break down Paper Mario into 2 parts, and that threw everything off again. Mm-hmm. And then Majora's Mask into 2 parts, and that threw everything off again.
Then if Majora's Mask was going to be 2 weeks, that meant that Ocarina of Time had to be 2 weeks.
Yep.
So.
And what's great about splitting them into 2 weeks is so that I can play them more, and then I don't.
Then don't.
So it's
exactly what I did.
Because it's here's what happens
so
instead.
Excited.
Yeah, exactly. Here's what happens instead. Oh man, I got 2 weeks to play this game. Play it for a couple days. Man, looks like I got a vacation. I don't have to play shit for 1 week.
Well, for a lot of those, I was like, I played those once already, all the way through. I'll take 2 weeks.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's what. And that, obviously, there are people out there who know more about these games. Some of those people might be sitting here with us right now, maybe.
Because playing an N64 game every week, it was so much easier to do Super Nintendo games.
Yeah.
So much fucking easier.
Yeah. It was. Remember the days where you would come over to my house and we would beat a game in 20 minutes.
Beat a game, yep.
And then be like, "You ready to talk about this right now, the same day?" Yes, I am. That doesn't happen anymore. And it's not going to happen with the next list.
Nope. God, except Sunset Riders, Super Turrican 2, all the racing games, yeah.
No, I mean, yeah. Even Tiny Toons was just
Tiny Toons.
All right, beat this game in 2 hours. Cool.
We can go ahead and do this. All right.
Yeah.
You want to do another one? Go ahead and have next week off.
Knock them out together.
Okay. Yeah. So we're 4 weeks ahead. Do you like doing it like this?
No. I feel like I'm the most creative, with that last minute rush is going. Which is true, unfortunately.
I like turning around and posting it immediately because it's already Wednesday. Sorry, people who are early commuters and, normally download the games at 4 p.m. and post it at 5. It's fine. It happens. Still Wednesday. Scrolling down on Dorkly's site, the top comment is complaining about Turok not being on it.
I gotta play Turok, guys.
And Wayne Gretzky 3D hockey.
Definitely do not want to play that ever.
Wave Race and Gauntlet Legends.
Ooh, Gauntlet Legends. I've never played that.
I forgot about that. Josh and I played that a lot.
Huh. Looks like I got to check out old eBay when we're done.
A game called World Is Not Enough.
Huh.
It's another James Bond game.
Nope.
Okay.
It's the prequel
It's the other Pierce Brosnan James Bond movie.
Yeah.
The World Is Not Enough. Yeah.
Mario Golf.
I would be interested in playing Mario Golf, and that's no lie.
Actually, that was a fun game.
I don't like golf, but I do like it in Mario form.
Mario form golf is a lot of fun, generally, yeah.
And 1080 snowboarding. I remember hearing a lot about that.
That one was actually really fun, too. Remember when you weren't around at Apex, we used to have a game for the PlayStation that was a snowboarding deal, and you try to go off the ramp and do a bunch of different tricks in the air.
Was it, shit.
Fuck, I don't know. I didn't have a PlayStation.
I think I know what game you're talking about. It's like Tricky or something.
I can't remember the name.
Oh, SXX Tricky.
Yeah, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jet Force Gemini. I've never heard of that.
Played that one. I've heard of it. I never played it.
Yeah, it looks like everybody repeating and arguing over whose nostalgia is stronger. So,
Okay.
And then, of course, the really bad games.
Superman 64.
Yeah, the iconically awful.
We are going to do that
Yeah.
one. I did purchase that one. So. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Tell me about it. I don't like spending money. So that one was like, all right.
See, no, here you go. Buy some garbage. People really want you to play with this garbage, though. Okay, fine.
And then here's the fucked up thing. Here's like a little, just let's creak the door open just a little bit in my personality. All right, so on eBay, I'm looking at all the games, all the Superman 64 games that are available for sale. There's one game that is so cheap. It's so cheap. It's $2. It's $2. It's the cheapest one on eBay, except there's no label, and Superman 64 is written in red Sharpie. Right below it, the next cheapest one is $6. And I was like, $6, please. Click.
Were you afraid you were going to have some kind of Majora's Mask?
That's what I said when I heard that. That's a creepypasta waiting to happen.
Superman creepypasta.
You turn it on, and it's actually like it's Brainiac. It just pops up on the screen. Oh, man. Any more comments about the N64? Any glowing reviews? Any horrible rebukes?
Not really. Since we're technically not done with it. I mean, we're done with this list.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would rebuke this list and say, let's trim it down to a hot 8. Everyone loves a top 8 list.
It's a magical number. It's fine.
Mm-hmm. But, I mean, as far as the system goes, I don't know. I think Ian's right. I think Nicole's right. If I'd had an N64 when it came out, I probably would have much different feelings for it than I do now. It's tough. It's tough to go back. And I think it's tough, just like you said, Nicole, it's tough for you to go to SNES games because that wasn't your thing. Mm-hmm. And I get that. And it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I feel like I've grown as a gamer, and I hate it. Because I'd much rather be like, nah, that's garbage.
It's a baby game.
Yeah, it's fucking baby game.
Well, thanks for playing counterpoint to everything we had to say today, you guys.
Thanks for tricking me and coming on.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Had to get in here and bag up our buddy Nicole here.
Thanks for being on my side, Ian.
It's legit too. I'm not just doing it to be nice. I'm right there with you. Everything you've said that I've heard about, all the ones I've listened to where you've been on and I've agreed with you every time.
Thank you.
So
I think you were like the only one I liked in the sea of TADPOG listeners. you were
applauding you in the car.
Thank you.
That's right, girl. You tell them.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody. You can find that show on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. So don't miss the next episode. Okay, so today is Original Flavor Wednesday, or I'm sorry, Other Shit Monday. Mm-hmm. Normally, that's not reserved for our list games.
Right.
But we moved this to today. Instead of Wednesday, we flip-flopped it because Wednesday is a special date in science fiction, so we're doing a special game for that date on Wednesday. So that'll be Wednesday. I'm not going to tell you what it is. You can probably figure it out.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, they can.
They can?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. Since we said it's a special day.
There will be enough Facebook posts about it, I'm sure.
Probably starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, 5-star iTunes reviews. We need them. If that wasn't garbled enough, I said 5-star iTunes reviews. Sometimes I just like to speak in just like no spaces, run on sentences, and
like
just see like you've listened to 300 hours of this. You know my weird inflection.
You know I'm
this iTunes reviews is better than Marketplace. Go to the review eventually.
Yeah. I'm a Lovecraftian horror. You get it.
It's like when you have a child and you learn to understand its language when it's first speaking, but no one else can understand. After enough TADPOG, I completely understand everything you're saying.
And the people who listen to the show on like times and a half speed, so I don't even.
How?
Yeah. So please go to iTunes, subscribe, leave us a 5-star written review. In that 5-star written review, if there's a game you want us to play, add it to the eventually list. That's taken a while to get through. It's kind of in the name.
Yeah.
So,
you even made a schedule around it.
Yep. And we went off schedule a lot because I originally had no advert games whatsoever. So.
And then we realized that some of those games on there are really long. And tough to do when you played it.
Because I had like Icewind Dale back to back with like what's that? KOTOR.
Yeah.
And then like Diablo and then Diablo 2. It's like I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was just like pulling things up and just typing them in.
Yeah, and I didn't object to that. I don't know why. Like, I remember looking at the list and like, I guess I just forgot like that these games take time to play, and I was just going through it and it was like, yeah, that's a good game. Yeah, that's a good game. Yeah, it just turned into a weird like test where it's like, oh yeah, I know that one. I know that one.
Well, see, if you had done that for me, you might have done similar to what I would have done had you given it to me. I would have only looked at it like 2 days before the date we were supposed to record.
No, that's...
I wouldn't have like looked ahead. I just would have been like, what are we doing like tomorrow? Okay.
No, that's the most fucked up thing is I looked at the whole damn thing and I was like, checks off. Looks good to me, man.
These are all games.
Yep.
It's not like October 13th. Do a good old boy style 96 on the couch. Checks off. It's fine. Nicole just talk on that one. So like game you want us to play, or I guess what you want for a certain episode, whatever you want, include that in your 5-star written review, and we will get to that eventually.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about a super secret game on Wednesday. In the meantime, you can always find us on tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. I've been working on those as we've been recording. That's why my contribution to the show has been very lacking. In the meantime, you can also find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/tadpog. There's a lot of cool people there doing a lot of cool shit. Hey, Facebook people. Wow. Lots of comments on last episode. Like a lot of them. Mm-hmm. That's awesome. Like that was really cool to like read those and like hear your opinions. I
haven't looked.
Check it out. It's crazy because like I mean we normally have people on there talking, but for some reason last episode was like boom, 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 bunch of people.
A lot of comments about what the next list should be.
Yeah.
Wait, was this the one with me reading the Civil War John Turley letter?
Yeah, people really enjoyed that.
Did they?
Really enjoyed
Dude, by the way, you got me with the music. I didn't know you were going to... I was re-listening to that the next day. I was listening to that the next day, and that started up, and I fucking died. I was like, oh, yes!
That reading of John Turley's letter, that for me is like... I will remember that forever. Like, that's one of the few, like when I think about Tadpog 30 years from now, like that's going to be one of the things.
Really? All right.
Yeah.
I'll do it again.
You can find us on Twitter. Also, we are at tadpog_podcast. It's cumbersome, I realize. Thank you for everybody who retweets our tweets. Nicole, I know you're like on point. You're on fleek. You're doing that all the time.
I don't know what that means.
You do a good job.
People use it to describe both their eyebrows and their pussy in certain circumstances. So if that clears it up a little bit for you.
Nope, I don't think it does.
I don't think so.
Like you've never told Josh, like, Joshua, my pussy be on fleek. I want to give of her face just doing that. I can just paste the people whenever they confuse me.
Also, Ian. Go. Hey man, I got your Twitter handle wrong in the last tweet for the episode.
Yeah, you made me 5 years younger, and some dude named Solo 1978 is super confused right now.
I looked to see if that was a user, and I even crossed my fingers. I was like, please let this be a person. He was like, I did what podcast? So when I make this tweet, I will try really, really hard not to get your handle wrong.
It's okay. Again. I'll catch it if you do.
We have a phone number. we're like 19. We're like early 1900s. I don't know when the phone was invented, by the way, but we have a phone number. You can call us if you want at 270-883-2555. If you leave us a voicemail, we don't screen those at all, so we'll probably just play it. But the problem is, don't make it too scary, creepy, because while we don't screen them, we do edit them out. You can also text at that number, but if you want to hear me stumble through reading the English language, that's the thing that you want to do.
Right, Dave.
Yes, Tyler.
While Italian inventor Antonio Meucci is credited for inventing the first basic phone in 1849.
I was close.
And Frenchman Charles Bousseau devised a phone in 1854.
Yes.
Alexander Graham Bell won the first U.S. patent for the device in 1876.
1876. Here's the thing. When I think of phones and when they were invented,
1940.
I think of Lassie. And I'm like, okay, well, when did Lassie happen?
That was in the
probably
50s.
like 1900.
See, I think of,
So this is just a series of me not understanding how time works.
well, Timmy Phobos and his phone on Lassie was a whole different thing.
Everything
Why
before
do you-
color TV was 1900.
Well, wait a
Why do
minute.
you associate Lassie with a phone?
Because they had the oldest looking phone in the world,
Yeah.
and they would just like pick it up and be like, "Hello, there's someone on the other end of this, right?" And then the operator would be like, "Yep, here I am, just
how phones
waiting
used to
for you to
work."
pick the phone up."
That's how it worked.
Who would you like to talk to? I don't know, the president. Okay, hold on. And then they go to a big board where it's got like giant stereo cables. And
That
it's like,
is how
"All
it works."
And they're gonna. Which one says president? This one does. Slam. All right, we connected you to the president, Miss Lassie.
Well, see, I think of Green Acres, where it's not even like as convenient as it being in your
Crawl
house.
up on
You
the
climb
pole.
a telephone pole. Back when all the phones were on top of poles.
Y'all, we need to have a serious talk. I need to get y'all
Yeah.
straight on some stuff. The wizened old sage in
Yeah.
me is starting to come
All
out.
right. Okay.
I mean, it made sense. The telephone wires were way up
They're
there.
up there.
So the phones
I
need to be
get
up there
it.
too. That's where all the telephone waves are. It's fine.
I also would like to point out I graduated from college.
Somehow.
Just want to throw that out there. I got a college degree. Don't know when the phone was invented. Also, don't know when Lassie took place.
Oh, it's like my dad whenever I couldn't get Wi-Fi out of the annex. So he insisted, he was positive it was the glass door that was leaned up against the fence that was blocking the internet from getting out here. And before he would help me run a line from the house out here, I had to move the glass door to the other side of the garage and try it again.
To be fair, the internet works in here now.
Yep. Yeah,
It might be due to hours of John Turley working on it,
Yeah.
or it might be because you moved that door.
It might be that drill that went under my house from my router through a PVC pipe out here.
No, I doubt it.
Probably not. Probably that door.
Hey, did you enjoy that last 3 minutes of the show? Give us $1, please. You can do that at patreon.com/tadpog. Thank you to everybody who already donates. Don't feel obligated to give us $1 for the last 3 minutes. You already did. But if you don't, this is where I'm going to start guilting you.
And pretty soon, I guess next week, we will be dropping Zork Part 2 for all Patreon donors.
We found it.
You,
We found it.
How long ago did we record that?
you want to hear Josh and
Long time
Nicole
ago.
argue some more? Give us $1. Listen to Zork Part 2.
Dude, when I found, because we thought we had lost Zork Part 2, and I felt bad about it because like I knew that I was responsible for that because like I knew I had this file somewhere and then I put it on Dropbox. And
See, it
then
might have been
I-
me too because I pulled it out of Dropbox and then like it vanished.
Yeah.
So it would have been both of us.
So like I went and like searched through several hard drives and it's like the whole time just being like, it's not here. It's not here. I'm wasting my time like just plugging in hard drive after hard drive. And then
You did that in the same matter of the telephone switch
right,
operator.
let me get you the wait, hold on.
President, please.
Maybe Herbert Hoover will know where it is.
Hello, operator. Zork Part 2, please.
Hold on a moment.
So when I found it, I was like amazed that I found it. It was like the scene in the Goonies where they find the printing press that's running money. It's a $50 bill. $50 bill. And then instead of doing that, I just put it in Dropbox and texted Tyler politely, "Hey, it's in there."
I was very excited.
I can't convey to you how excited I am through text message, but it's in there, and I assure you that I am very excited.
See, you convey how excited you are by including the word dog.
Yes.
And however many A's you include is
Yeah.
however excited you are. Got a lot of A's in caps for found it, dog.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, I need to include that in every text. I feel like just to give whoever receives a text a gauge on how I'm giving this message.
Every text starts in yo and ends in dog. So,
Dave sent me a text message earlier tonight. It didn't say dog, so
he was not excited.
I wasn't excited.
Whatever he said.
But I think I used Nicole. You pull it up and check me, but I think I used "ya" instead of "you," which means that I was being very casual with you.
I don't think that's true.
If this was Japan, you said her first name and didn't add an honorific
Yeah.
to it. You're very casual, very relaxed.
I've been super in tune with to an anxiety-ridden point now with text messaging ever since Cockmaster Shake said something along the lines of, Dave is really formal with his text messages. And it's like, oh, fuck, man. Now I'm like...
He lives in Japan. Formality is like every fucking thing. It's a constant... He's told me about this. Like, formality of speech in Japan is like a constant puzzle that you're trying to figure out every time you meet another person, because there are like 20 different greetings, all depending on like social status, age, profession, like what area you're in. I mean, all these different things you have to remember, just how to say I and you, and like he said, it's just constant. You never fucking know. So most people just go with what as formal as they can fucking talk if they're not sure.
They're like, we didn't invent the Rubik's Cube or Tetris, so we have to make up a really weird, complex social puzzle for everybody to figure out.
Because he was talking about how hard it is to actually like for people to meet other people in Japan. Because like, unless for some reason you already know them, they're like, you're not going to meet anybody, because everyone's like, they don't want to talk to each other because you don't know each other and it would be rude. So only if like your families are close friends and you're born knowing these people, you're not going to meet anybody else.
Yeah, I mean...
So Tinder, not big in Japan. Glory holes, huge in Japan.
Huge. All the cool.
I am so cool in Japan. Meg's out here now and looks very confused.
It's a callback, Meg. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's about glory holes, and you might not have figured that part out.
I think I got that.
Yeah, okay. Also, Tyler's motions for a glory hole were a lot like the telephone operator patching you through.
So I rolled in Glory hole.
Man, that's what we need to model Glory Daze after. Is like whoever the contestant is, they're like a telephone operator, and they're when all the dicks come out, they're just patching. It's like on one wall has a whole bunch of holes with names under it, and then on the other wall there's a whole bunch of holes with names on it, and then like there's a television screen and two names pop up on it, and then that person has to work really hard on those to patch those two together.
Give me the president of Glory Holes, please.
Oh shit!
See, I've never seen a real life glory hole.
I haven't either.
I think they look like holes.
Well, Meg, however, has, because you went to a really sketchy like gas station in college that had like you sat down and you saw the actual like glory hole in the stall.
Racer track. Fast track. I know. I messed it up. How did you know it was did a wiener come out of it? Okay, good.
No, I know from the internet, unless you put your two fingers in there, nothing's coming out of it. It's like Japan. They're very formal.
Yeah.
Unless you get the two finger go ahead, nothing's coming through.
So wait, how? Like there has to be like formal like arrangements, like.
I don't
right?
think there does.
Does someone just
that's
like
the point.
with nothing to do just stand in a stall like with their pants down around their ankles?
If you check Craigslist, there are a lot of people like that will just stand in the stall and just wait all day long.
A hole in the stall.
Yeah. Okay.
That was an unzipping motion.
Yeah. No, I got it.
For the listeners, not for you. No. They can't see me.
Ian, I am also listening. Did we do all the things?
Yeah, I think we did all the things.
We did all the things. We're done.
Nicole, our theme song.
moves.
Who's that by, Ian?
Sycamore Drive.
Dave, where can I link that
Yes,
track we
Tyler.
found?
Unfortunately, only on tadpog.com.
Okay.
Yeah. The Sycamore Drive. Well, I should say fortunately. If you're thinking about using Moves by Sycamore Drive as your podcast intro, I can't stop you from doing that, but please don't do that. That's my only request.
Yeah.
That and be our next contestant on Glory Daze.
Either way, either spot. We'll rotate. It's fine.
Yeah, you can be on either wall.
You can
or
wear the
contestant.
Fonzie jacket or not. It's fine.
The one where Fonzie does a wobbly H.
Instead of what would you do instead of jumping the shark when Glory Daze has gone too far?
Man, you remember when Fonzie physically jumped a shark on a motorcycle? Yeah, but do you remember when he was on Glory Daze?
Do you want to hear some Fonzie trivia?
Yeah, I would love to hear some Fonzie trivia.
In the beginning of Happy Days, he was going to wear a leather jacket, and the executives of the network said that he couldn't wear a leather jacket because leather jackets were like connected to bikers, and that bikers were like thugs and criminals, and so
He wears a gray zip-up jacket in the very first episode.
Really?
yeah, he does.
Yep.
But they didn't want him to wear that. They wanted him to wear a leather jacket. But they said he could if he was near a motorcycle,
Okay.
because if he wears a motorcycle, he has to wear the leather jacket
To stay safe.
to stay safe, right?
If he because you said if he wears a motorcycle. If he wears a motorcycle, he's in trouble.
He's been in a horrific accident.
They said,
If he wears a motorcycle, he's some sort of weird transformer.
There's definitely going to be an interstate picnic if he's wearing the motorcycle.
they said that if he was near a motorcycle, like on or near a motorcycle, he could be wearing his leather jacket because it would be safe. Because if he didn't have a leather jacket on a motorcycle, then he would be like encouraging people to not wear leather jackets, and then the public would be like putting themselves in danger. This is how they were going to get around this.
Yes.
So that's why in like the early seasons of Happy Days, he's always with his motorcycle. Like he's like in the house with it and stuff. Like he's like has
remember
it
that.
in the house. He's like cleaning it and stuff like inside the restaurant and in the house and stuff. And eventually the show got so popular they didn't make him do that anymore.
Here's what I love about that exposes like just executive level thinking like in a creative industry, because it's like, all right, well, we got a problem. We don't want this guy to be associated with motorcycles, so we can't wear a leather jacket. Well, how about we just put him with a motorcycle? Yeah, all right.
That's a good idea. Good thinking.
Richie also had an older brother in the very first episode of Happy Days.
That I know.
that they, that they dropped. So he went to college and just never came back again.
Fonzie murdered him. Just like one of those
I
motorcycle
think
thugs.
they were worried about the older brother being a cool rival to Fonzie, so it's like no one can rival Fonzie. Get out. So,
Yeah.
so Glory Daze really sucked off Henry Winkler. That's how we'll say it when it's got too far. How are we gonna close it out?
Like Fonzie?
Like Henry Winkler having an orgasm? Sure.
Yeah. I mean, we gotta. That's what we do here.
Either having an orgasm or not having an orgasm.
Well, I'm sure he'd rather be having an orgasm if given the choice.
So until next time, Tropical Capricorn. Hey, a little too close to when we did that Italian voice.
We were sick, and I called the doctor, and I said, "Doctor, come to our house. We're sick." So he came to the house. We got a long driveway, and we have a well halfway up the driveway. And he stopped at the well to get a drink, slipped, and fell in the well. The moral of the story is, take care of the sick. Leave the well alone.